All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we get the green flag in the Discord for the guys to ready up, we've got 10 seconds left. Welcome to our second last round into Season 5 for the Tier 2 boys. And it's going to be a fascinating one tonight. As you can see, we are at Interlagos in Brazil. And we know a lot of drivers do love this place. Weather on the left-hand side, you can see a bit of cloud. There was a little bit of a chance of rain, so you never know if that may come or not, but definitely overcast, unlike last night where we did have rain affect the Tier 3 guys. But this is going to be a fascinating race because we've got both the drivers and constructors can be won tonight by both Mercy and McLaren. So that's the big fight that we'll be keeping an eye out on today. But we're going to get through quali first, and Mercy has been on a hot run of form. And he's going to be right up there in terms of pole position, but don't count out Yusuf or Toddy as well. But it's good to see Broseph as well back in, missing last week. But yeah, it's going to be a fascinating race. I will quickly go over last week's result, as we did see that great battle at the end by Mertz and by Mercy. Mercy did cop that 5-second time penalty, unfortunately, so he did drop back to P2. So Mertz is your official winner of Canada from last week. So Mercy obviously not too happy about the result, but he lost 4 points, but that still gives him a healthy lead in the drivers' standings with 2 races to go. As we wait for the boys to just get their setups on, and I believe it's one of the Ferraris that will be out on track first. So it is Broseph when it decides to switch. It is. So as we watch, it's actually both Ferraris actually. So we'll follow Marty B, our champion contender from Mercy. So looking at the driver's standings for everybody at home, currently it is a 29-point gap between Marty B and Mercy. So Mercy needs to pretty much have a 25-point lead going into the final round, because Mercy's on 3 wins. Marty obviously yet to pick up that first P1. So on count back, Mercy will have it. So 25 points is all that the McLaren driver needs. 29 points at the moment, so it's pretty much only a 4-point swing. So Marty's got to pretty much finish in front. But Mercy, at least Mercy knows what his role is. In terms of the constructors, the gap that needs to happen is 46 points for McLaren to win the championship tonight. And at the moment, Red Bull in second place. It is a 46-point gap, so McLaren only needs to pretty much just outscore Red Bull, and they'll take home the constructors' title with 1 race left to go. So as we follow Marty B on the first flying lap of the session, coming down into the St. S's turn 1, then the right hand of turn 2, getting the big exit with DRS at turn 3. And then you've got the run down into turn number 4. So definitely a passing opportunity. Got to be careful not to go super wide on the right hand side. As we now come up the hill for the tight and twisty middle section of the track. Turn 6, then turn 7. And the tight right hander of turn 8, which will switch back onto turn number 9. We've seen plenty of side-by-side action in the past around here. Now the tight hairpin at turn 10. Nice line through there for Marty B. Now turn 11 can be tricky, especially with high fuel or tyre wear. Got to be careful. And then all important turn 12. So that gives you pretty much a run to the start-finish line. So definitely another place that people can make overtakes coming down this straight. He'll have a bit of DRS before he crosses the line, and he goes P1 at the moment on a 1:08.833. And Broseph right behind him goes a 9.3. So about half a second off between the two. As we'll get everything up for everybody at home. Toddy 8.5. Great lap in the Red Bull, 3/10 clear. But it's got to be Yusuf We know how quick he's been in qualifying, and he goes just quicker by 100th of a second over Toddy. These two have been really matching it up the second half of the season, both of them getting full-time drives. And it's wonderful to see. Mercy's just been that bit more consistent. That's why he's leading the way. So Battle Cat goes P5, Buster in P6. Mercy made a mistake on his first run on a 16.7. A-Dog as well at an 11.8. So Mercy will go again. We'll follow through on our championship leader at the moment. So just needs to outscore Marty B by 4 points, and he can claim this Tier 2 championship. It will only matter pretty much when, not if. If he can't get it this round, more than likely he'll get it next round. As he goes purple in the first sector. Coming through. Nice line through there now, turn 8. There's a little bit of traffic in front of him. Shouldn't bother him too much of the Haas. And then to turn number 11. Sorry, 10, now 11. You got to be a little careful. You can run wide on the right hand side there too. Purple sector. Obviously 8 seconds up on his time, which will be close to an 8. Maybe an 8.5, maybe a slightly little bit lower, but we'll see what his time's like coming onto the main straight. He'll get a little bit of a toe. Can Mercy go provisional pole? He can by 10th. So he's going to want to lead this from the front and claim the championship with the win. But it's very tight at the top between the top three. Marty B a little bit ways back, but at least he's further up. He hasn't had the best qualifying as of late, so he needs to really start up there. Massive Ego. Great first lap for him at 9.1. Tetris as well. Quiet Cake, Wayne, Battle Cutter, your 10. So we've got Broke, Medi, and Parallel Aussie, the three that have yet to set a lap time. So Medi's been out on track, so he must have been validated. We'll follow him through, as we do have a little bit of rain. Crosses the line, goes P4, and that's probably a very, very important lap for his qualifying session. Because if we got raindrops, it means we're pretty much, unless the guys really hurry, these might be the final laps of the session. As Wayne, he'll get a bit of a tow. I think he is on a lap. No, I don't think he is, so he's coming in as well. So has Aussie missed out here? He's out on his out lap. So that's really going to hurt McLaren's chances if he's down in P17. Red Bull currently 3rd and 4th. Battle Cat moving up just behind his teammate. So Parallels, he's going to start his final lap. As we got Sam, is he finishing? No, he's starting as well. Problem is, it looks like it's getting there. It's getting a little bit wetter. Got to be careful. Medi's obviously invalidated, but he just got that lap in for P4, then dropped down to P5. Battle Cat's coming in, I believe. Switch to Aussie first as we got a Ferrari onto the grass. How's Aussie doing? You can just already see how tricky the conditions are already. As he moves his way past the Ferrari, he's sitting on the inside. So gives him plenty of room. Coming through turn 11, this is going to be the tricky corner in these conditions. 53.5 to the second sector line. He's got pretty much one corner left, because we don't really count 13, 14, 15. Maybe in heavy wet conditions, but he'll get DRS, so that's still enabled. But can he get anywhere close to the front? He crosses the line and it's only a 10.9. So these weather conditions, that's pretty much hurt Aussie. And Broken Reptile, he's coming out, but I have a feeling that this weather is not going to help him whatsoever, and we might actually be done from the session already with 10 minutes left to go. As I get my cheeky little program up, yeah, Mercy, great lap time from him. He's retired. He feels this weather's pretty much done and dusted. Yusuf's a second down. Obviously only on his out lap, so it might be a little bit of an error, but you can just look at the track, how greasy it is. Especially that, oh, he got a bit of a snap there, and then just the little lines of water and their spray coming off the tyres, so we will not see any improvement. Broke can only pretty much just set a lap time, but he will be plumb last in the Alfa Romeo, unfortunately, as Yusuf will start a lap time. We'll follow him through and see how tricky it is. Massive ego. He's obviously retired. He feels the track's not going to get any better, especially if you're aiming towards a 8.5 to get anywhere near the top group. Come through turn 4 and he's 1.4 seconds down, and that's pretty much the S section, really, turn 1, 2 and 3. So yeah, conditions are pretty much done, so not really any point to sort of be out on the track in soft conditions, and you can just have a big slide, and then DRS is now finally disabled. So we do the waiting game now, unless anyone wants to kindly retire. That's just been from Yusuf. And that'd be one of the corners that'd be tricky trying to get the drive out. So Yusuf, he'll have a spin. He'll probably come back in. Where's Wayne? And he's in the wall. And he's bogged too. Oh, he got very lucky out of that. See, that's the risk. If you have a crash, you get beached, and then you get disqualified. You lose your P11 spot down to and go down to P17. So, not really worthy of the risk, unfortunately, trying to at least be out there on softs. You just do it out on inters if you really want to go out there again, as we've seen a couple of boys retire in the pit lane. But that's also obviously tricky, and another spin. Thankfully there's no walls, but again, he cannot afford to be beached. As Wayne just sliding all over the shop, as you can see. And just having a really short shifts, not to allow too much power to the engine. And just overspin the rear wheels. And he does come in. So we do have the battle cut out there on intermediate tyres. So you can see what a lap is around here. As I said, not 100% sure what the race is going to be like. As Aussie retired. Yeah, it was a little bit like Ken out there, but Ken could keep it the right way. Unfortunately, unlike Wayne, no grip, but yes, obviously, bit of a tribute there from from Wayne to Ken there. Obviously, losing him really unfortunately. Spectacular seeing him behind a race car. Obviously, unfortunately, losing him right at the start of the year, Ken Block. But, as I said, best known, obviously, professional rally driver. And, yeah, it was just really cool seeing him go around whatever sort of track he was. As we'll see the Battle Cat. So it's going to be his first flying lap on the set of intermediate tyres. And it'd be interesting to see what sort of pace he hasn't got ERS on, so interesting to see if this is just sort of a bit of a breeze or not. Daniel Start, how are you? Doing well on a Saturday afternoon. Opened up my first drink just before we started the stream, so gonna enjoy my Saturday afternoon, and gonna be a great race to watch, especially with 2 championships on the line. That Mercy and McLaren can close out. I think that's the big thing that that's going to be the focus point on tonight. Round out tier 2. Obviously, we've got this week and next week left to go. And as I have a cheeky quick look, where am I? Trying to find the calendar. As we've got Battle Cat coming across the line. What's his first lap in these conditions? About a 17.6. So I think rough lap times last night, I think we're in the 15s as a rough guess. I'll have a quick look. 15s or 16s, sort of when there was a little bit of weather on track. But we got a few guys on the intermediate tyres, obviously putting a little bit of practice in. It is Abu Dhabi next week. Just having a quick look. So obviously Abu Dhabi season finale for us, 20 long rounds, and we've had plenty of action for the season. Can't wait to close off next week. We've got our Tier 1 and Tier 3 champions crowned in Prince and Quick Killer. Just waiting on the Tier 2 drivers now. And Mercy just sitting in the garage. She doesn't feel like trying to set some wet times. He obviously feels that maybe there's no rain in the race, as Buster's done as well. He'd obviously be a little bit disappointed, Buster only down there in P14. Again, it was the one and only flying laps that people got, and that was sort of the best that if you made a clean lap, that's why you're up the front of the field. As you can see, Broseph, obviously both Ferraris in the top 9, 6. I don't think he'll be too disappointed being that. He sort of needs Yusuf and Toddy to really fight Mercy. Or Mercy to have sort of a bit of an issue, but as I said, Mercy's been ultra consistent and he's even missed a few rounds as well. So sort of that's how on top of things he's been. Going to be very interesting to see on how he goes in Tier 1 next season. He's shown some good form in Tier 1. A few times he's reserved. So it'll be very interesting to see how we go. Wayne crosses the line. He's done a 19 flat. So that's his pace in these wet weather conditions. As we just hit the 3-minute mark left to go in quali. So as you can see, it is intermediate conditions. Quali was dry at the start, so that's why you can see a lot of drivers just retired. We haven't seen anyone bin it on track as of yet in terms of a DNF. We've seen Wayne in the wall once. That was on soft tyres in these conditions. So as we'll jump on somebody else. Who haven't I been on? Well, I'm on with Tetris. As we've got a few more guys on track. Oh, sorry, in the pit lane retiring. That's Quiet Cake's done too. Toddy's done. And Tetris coming through turn 12. He will have the run to the line. So how's his pace in these intermediate conditions? Obviously, RS all not on. I think he was in two minds there. Oh no, that was a bit of lag. I thought that was a little bit hairy, but no, that was just the game playing a little bit of a visual glitch. He did come into the pit lane, so Tetris will be done in the session. We've got both Ferraris. So can Broseph sort of help Marty? Maybe Mercy comes in for an early pit stop, maybe hold him up. The only thing for Mercy is Aussie's down right in P16. He won't really be of any help. We'll see if he can fight his way through the field. But tyre choice is going to be all important if we do remain dry for the entire session. Do you go the harder compound? Do you go soft just to try and get the gap so Mercy can try and keep the lead? Does he have the tyre wear to be able to keep hold? These things we'll definitely find out as we reach the final minute of qualifying for round 19 at Brazil. And Broken Reptiles has set it to lap time. It's a 1:20.5. Obviously, a little bit difficult in conditions, and he's got to spin out of turn number 2. Again, I imagine if it's a dry race, all these drivers running a dry setup. So you still need a little bit of downforce just with how tricky sector 2 is. You want some rotation through there. Oh, Yusuf, it's going to be a wet start. Now that is very interesting and going to be very fun to watch. So forget all I said about tyre strategy because it's going to be into tyres at the start. Just a matter of how quick does it dry up. As we've got 10 seconds left to go in the session.
The last time two drivers took the first podium finish in the same race was back in 1994 at the German Grand Prix. Before construction started in 1936, the Sao Paulo circuit is Brazil's oldest permanent autodrome.
Alright, we've hit the checkered flag now. Just waiting on a couple of the guys.
One of many things
as we get to the checkered flag. Just waiting for Brosev's car to retire after coming into pit lane. And it is going to be a hotly contested 36 laps. We're starting in Inters. It's going to be very interesting. Toddy, big thank you for the sub. Appreciate it big time. Hopefully you go well. Obviously, as the Red Bull captain, I'm obviously hoping you go well. Obviously, both yours and Battle Cat's race didn't go well last time at Canada. So hopefully he can get a lot more, and both starting on the second row could be a good one for Red Bull, but got some two very quick guys ahead, as you can see as we look at the results. Mercy, he's got one half of the job done, starting on pole position, but it was only by 800ths of a second. Toddy was only pretty much a 10th behind, but Yusuf, great lap from him again, up on the front row next to Mercy. Toddy in the Battle Cat, Red Bull lock out the second row. Medi on that pretty much last lap before the rain. Great effort for him, P5. Marty in P6. Ego, Tetris, Brosev, Quiet Cake rounds out our top 10. And then Wayne, Sam, A-Dog, Buster, Granny, Aussie, and then Broken Reptile. Obviously, unfortunately, setting that lap time in the intermediate conditions. Not being able to get a soft run. I think he invalidated his first lap, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. Alright, as we load into the session, Yusuf did say that it was going to be a wet start. That's looking pretty dry to me. So unless we're going to get rain very shortly, obviously no formation lap. So obviously when we hit the grid, it will be the 5 red lights. So Mercy needs to outscore Marty B to win this championship with a round to spare. McLaren need to outscore Red Bull for them to win the Constructors tonight as well. Buster, unfortunately, he's left the session at the wrong time, but we do have the 5 red lights. Can Mercy claim his Tier 2 championship? We're underway, and it looked like a great start for Mercy. Yusuf behind Toddy and Medi. Medi got a really good jump as we got... Oh, and that's a Red Bull. That's Toddy completely gone straight on. So not sure if he hit the grass, but that's really hampered Red Bull's chances as we got Mercy and Yusuf fighting side by side. Can Yusuf stick a nose down the inside at turn number 4? He will. Can he hold on? He's got the inside line. Mercy will have the better run. And look at Medi. He's moved up from P5, I believe, and up into the top 2. So he's had an absolutely cracking start, and Yusuf does hold on from Mercy. So Mercy's dropped 2 spots in the opening sector. We do have all cars facing the right way, so whatever issue Toddy has, he's right at the back of the field. So hopefully he doesn't. As Buster, I'm really unfortunate for you. Hopefully you can get back in. I'll try and get, when there's a clear spot, get you an invite in. But Yusuf, Medi, Mercy, Marty B, he's up into P4. Battle Cat's dropped down into P5. As we're going to check the tyres for everybody. Medium or hard, so we're definitely not going to be any wet conditions as Medi goes around the outside. Does he manage to get the job done? No, but that puts Yusuf... He has to take the inside line, so Medi should get the better run as we come through turn 3 for the second time. And he's got to have the slipstream. He ducks out to the left-hand side. Does he stick the nose? No, he does hold it. And we've got an issue at the back. That's Massive Ego. Starting in the top 6, he's obviously had a big issue and he's down at the back. So the gap has sort of spread. So I'll quickly try and get you an invite as quickly as I can. Obviously I want to get you in here. Alright, you're back in. Toddy gets past A-Dog, so Toddy's moved up from the back. As I've sent you an invite, Buster, hopefully he can get back in. As Broken Reptile gets past Buster. As A-Dog moves up past Granny. So plenty of action in the opening 2 laps. Granny, does he fight back? No, but we've got a few separate trains now back at the front. Yusuf will lead us away, fastest lap. So Medi didn't quite hang on for that first lap, but we do now have DRS enabled. Oh, and Yusuf got on the curb. Does that give him a poor run? Medi, he's only 2/10 behind. Does he go for the move? Down at turn 4, he's closing side by side. He'll have the inside line. Can he hold it? He does. Great effort and great overtake. Yusuf thought about the move, but he had to back out of it. Obviously a long way to go. 33 laps left to go. As Yusuf again, not the best exit through turn number 6. So he's a bit of a scruffy lap from the Alfa Romeo driver on lap 3. And Mercy's obviously right there. And Mercy's on the hard tyres, remember, along with Marty B. So they will be, say, come lap 10, probably feeling a little bit better on those hard compounded tyres compared to the two medium runners. So as long as there's no safety car early on, Mercy and Marty in a great chance. But Mercy currently leading the driver's standings, and he will take the title with him finishing in front of Marty at the moment. Sam gets past Tetris. Sam had great speed last week in Canada, but unfortunately had an incident at the middle chicane and got disqualified trying to correct himself. Hopefully we can get a better result from Sam. Hopefully I haven't done the Mercy and jinxed him. We'll wait and see. Medi and Yusuf. So great little scrap this is. Oh, a really unlucky Buster blackout. Oh, you just hate to see it. So if you can get back in later on, hopefully your power gets restored. Yeah, I was not too far behind, thankfully. But obviously if you do about half distance in AI, obviously, yeah, you may get disqualified by the stewards. But yeah, really unlucky. But we still got all 17 cars at least on track, even if we don't have all drivers in. Medi and Yusuf. Yusuf will have DRS. So does he think about going for the move? Is he going to save? He is going to go on the attack. Yusuf takes the inside line. Now, I tried this last time, but he went a little bit too deep into turn 1 as Sam, he goes fastest. So he's really flying and gets the move done on Battle Cat. So great effort from Sam on those medium tyres. Really loving them. So he's definitely flying. Yusuf, he got the move done. Can he hold it? Medi, he takes the inside line. Are we going to see a rinse and repeat? We are, but Yusuf's going to hang him around the outside, but he does go all 4 wheels off the tracks. So Medi holds the lead. Sorry, retakes the lead. He's pretty much been leading all through the second sector. Yusuf obviously tried it at turn 1, but just got re-overtaken at turn 4. So it's just a matter of whether he just waits down the start finish straight and gets a better exit out of turn 3. But all the while these two scrap, Mercy and Marty just happily sitting there. Sam's nearly right on the back of the top 4 as well. So he's really flying. As we look at the position changes, he's been the biggest mover, up 7 spots. So he's loving Brazil on this heavy fuel load on those medium tyres. And back up the front is Mercy. Mercy's still keeping in touch. Marty B sort of the one hounding him. Yusuf not quite close enough, but we'll see if what I said earlier on in the lap takes place and he tries to get the move done at turn 4. Probably not quite close enough, but it is 3.5 tenths. Bit of DRS, how much can he close in? He can, but nowhere near enough, so we'll sit behind at turn 4 once again. But thankfully they didn't go side by side. So good to see you, Parzival, Websy, in the chat. So it's going to be a fascinating race as we've seen so far. We'll go back over to the tyres for everybody. And Battlecat's actually lost out of Sam's DRS as well. Battlecat really struggling on those medium tyres. I'm just wondering if it's a little bit setup related or it's just sort of a track that he doesn't like, but really struggling at the moment. And Tetris is right on the back of him on the hard tyres, and Quiet Cake as well. Got a little bit of a battle between Broseph and Wayne for the bottom ends of the 10. So remember, top 15 score points plus 1 for fastest lap. But we're going to head back to the front quickly because Yusuf, again, he gets close at turn 1. He's a little bit closer than what he was last time. Can he hook up turns 1 and 2? It wasn't too bad, but Medi's not too bad through there. And then out of turn 3, bit of DRS. But again, it will be nowhere near close enough. So Yusuf again sticking behind. Marty B, on the other hand, he's very, very close. But it's got to be Battle Cat. Oh, these three are really getting very tight. As Battle Cat somehow hung on. Tetris was only about a tenth behind, but look at Quiet Cake as well. Down in P8 in the Aston. He's pretty much juiced all his battery, but he's in this fight. Just sort of needs Battle Cat to close into the top 5. Sam he's teetering on that 1 second, as you can see on your left hand side. Was 1.001, now it's 9 tenths. As Battle Cat's got 2 seconds to try and close in. He sort of gapped Tetris a little bit. That might help him be able to defend. Meanwhile, Medi has done a good job out front. Yusuf again, that half second at the start of the DRS activation point. Closes itself back down. But again, it's about that 2 tenths, and he touches the grass a little bit, goes wide. He manages to take turn 2 nicely, but that just loses him about the 20 metres, or the 20 yards he sort of needs. And unfortunately, he's going to fall back, unfortunately. Sam, he's closed that gap now, as these three still very close together. We'll look further down. Brosev's got a bit of a gap, and it's Wayne and Toddy now. Toddy down the inside, and gets it done. Great move from the Red Bull, fighting his way back up through. So his next target's now Broseph. As we round turn number 6, going to head back up to the front of the field. Medi still holding. Half a second is the gap between all these top guys. Oh, and that's Sam off. He caught back up. So again, turn 11. First driver that we've seen lose it there. Oh, he's just got to keep the tyres in a good condition. Just let them cool back down. But back at the lead, we've got Yusuf retaking the lead at turn number 1. But this is what happened last time. Medi, if he can get a good exit through 2 and out of 3, he has got DRS, but Yusuf, I think his exit was just enough as Mercy closes in. But he'll sit back behind, and you can see Marty B in the back just hanging on about 7 tenths. But this is maybe always Tetris on Battle Cat. So maybe these hards are just starting to feel a little bit better than the mediums. Mediums probably start getting to the cliff. I actually used me a little bit of data, and yeah, I'm seeing roughly at that point for a lot of the medium runners just closed in on that first cliff. As we know, is about 25%, as Sam picks up a 3-second time penalty. So first driver that has crossed the line 3 times. So he might have picked one up for that moment that he had at this corner last lap. I think he was a little bit cautious through there. Didn't want to have happen what happened on lap 8. Medi, he's about 6 tenths behind. And I'm just wondering if his medium's just starting to struggle. Mercy might have it. Toddy gets past Broseph quite early, so his exit out of turn 12 was quite nice. But Broseph, can he try and come back? No, he won't. He'll sit behind. But back at the front, Medi, does he send a little sneaky one down the inside? No, he'll hold. So top 4 covered by about 1.3 seconds. Tetris is about 5 seconds back and leading a little pack of his own. So we've gone 10 laps. No safety car as of yet. We've had a couple of little moments. A-Dog, as Gretty getting a little bit feisty down here on Ego, and Ego's in the wall. And loses his front wing, and I didn't need to open my mouth there. I said safety car, 10 laps, switch on Ego, and he's binned it. So thankfully he's still going in the race. But this is the worst time for the hard runners. They're going to have to go a long way on the mediums. You're going to see Yusuf, you're going to see Medi, you're going to see the Battle Cat in. But what poor timing, and apologies to all the hard runners. I completely jigs that. 10 laps without a safety car, and then I go say that. So Yusuf's in, as we know. Medi's in. Do the hard runners come in? I think they have to. You need the fresh tyres. So they're going to be on the medium tyres. Marty B actually stays out. So he's going to gamble. Hoping that there's another safety car that can sort of get him back in this Tetris as well. I think it's a smart play from Mercy just to get the new tyres on. So Broseph stays out, so both Ferrari drivers staying out. as Sam comes in as well. So you can see everybody boxing from lap 4, from P4 down. So the two Ferraris and Tetris have 1, 2 and 3. Youths coming out in P4, Medi in P5, Mercy in P6. Hopefully no one crashes on the pit lane exit. We know it's quite a tricky one, especially on cold tyres. But we are under a safety car, so there's no need to push. As Buster, I think that's still your AI car, so it stays out in P12. As I think everyone has gotten away with not binning it on the exit. So Marty, he needs a risk. Is this the risk? Problem is, because so many guys came in, those medium runners are only in P6. So it's not a big drop. I'll have a quick drink of water. Hopefully everybody further up in the country, in Australia, are trying to keep cool. Those of you further down that are getting in heavy rain, hopefully you're staying dry. But yeah, quite warm where I am. I know in Sydney it's about 40 odd degrees, low 40, very early 40s or high 30s, so hopefully might be a sweaty one for a few of these boys. It'd be nice if we had a bit of cloud cover. Well, we do a little bit, but it's quite humid. So again, hopefully your Saturday afternoon's going really well. We've seen plenty of action. 1/3 race distance in lap 12. Tier 2 round 19 at Brazil. Gonna get the track name right, or the country right. Marty B leads. Tetris, Broseph, that's your top 3. They haven't stopped, as you can see. 11 lap old hards. Yusuf has gone the mediums to the hards on 10 laps, so he's good to go to the end if we don't have another intervention of the safety car. Medi, he's been really good as well. Mercy on the hard tyre. He's probably a little bit annoyed that safety car came out when it did. It's going to be a stretch to get those mediums home. I feel like he's going to have so much more pace compared to the guys that did stay out. Battlecat in P7 on the hard. Sam, after that little spin that he had, safety car helps him close back in, but the 3 seconds has cost him. As we do have the safety car in at the end of this lap. So Marty B needs to outscore Mercy by 5 points to keep his championship hopes alive. As he'll take us away. Broseph might do a little bit of holding up behind. We'll see, but the grip's not going to be there for the hard runners. It's a matter of when Marty goes. He's just holding his brakes as soon as we see the release, and we do now. So Marty will take us back underway, lap 13. And it was a good start. Tetris and Broseph. And you can just see Yusuf really thought about the move down the inside. Or around the outside at turn 1, inside at turn 2. Yusuf is going to know top 3 have to box, but he's going to want to try and get a bit of a gap between himself and Medi. Broseph does go a little bit defensive. Yusuf does get on the grass, but he's got to try and hang it around the outside as we go through turn 5. Great side-by-side action, and he does get it. That could be all important to break the train that he was sort of stuck in before the safety car. So that's a big important move. Now he's got Tetris behind. Medi, as Broseph goes wide, as we're on board with Mercy. Oh, a little bit of contact there, but Medi takes the inside. Mercy's got to hope to try and follow him. No, he'll back out, but try and get the better run through turn 10. Nothing happening there, so he's going to have to hold. As we've got a yellow flag, and we've lost Sam. And this is going to be our second safety car. So Sam out of turn 10, whether that was contact or just losing it himself. He's unfortunately into the grass, and his night is done. So second safety car, this is probably the worst thing for the 3 guys staying out. They have to box. Marty comes in, Tetris comes in. Probably the worst thing that they wanted to have happen, because they're really going to fall down the field now. We've got a couple of other boys boxing as well. Buster has boxed. A-Dog has boxed. Probably not a bad call from A-Dog considering that he boxed withdrew to an earlier incident. But yeah, that plan has not worked out for the both Ferrari boys. I think they wanted a safety car, but in, say, another 6-7 laps time, not straight after. And unfortunately, it's Sam that's caused it for him. So Yusuf takes the lead. He got the great move around the outside of Brosa. Problem is, the guys around him are boxed under this safety car, and he's going to have Medi, Mercy, and the Battle Cat right on his tail once again. Oh, Sam, really unlucky for you. Great pace there, and I'm assuming by that response, you've been helped into that wall, unfortunately. But yeah, condolences. As you said, you were looking really, really strong. Great pace on the mediums, and you were the early highest position mover, so I'm really unfortunate. Hopefully we can see you in the final round next week. So under our second safety car of this afternoon, Yusuf leads Medi, leads Mercy. Battle Cat and Toddy. Toddy, remember he went straight on at turn 1 and was plumb last. He's now back up into P5. So great recovery drive from him, and he's on the medium compounder tyres as well. So they won't be great, but this second safety car is going to help their longevity. So as we quickly have a look at the position gains again, everyone has, you can see, stopped at least once. A-Dog stopped twice. So biggest moves at the moment, Aussie from pretty much the back of the field, P16. He's up into P8. He needs to be there considering that McLaren are pretty much just need to outscore on both Red Bulls in P4, P5. So I think that still goes Red Bull's way in terms of point score. We'll have a look at that towards the end of the race when we do interviews with the boys, because obviously want to know if we can get crowned. But Marty B, he's dropped down into P12, obviously on the fresh medium tyres. So will that 3 laps actually help him in the end? But Mercy, he's 9 places ahead, so I'm not sure if that's going to work. So as we follow the safety car, should be in this lap. Alright, so safety car is now in, so Yusuf has control of the restart. When does he go? Does he go as late as what Marty B did last time? Trying to get a bit of tyre temp. All important to go. He hasn't gone, but he has now. But I think that wasn't the best. It's going to be close coming into turn 1. Does anyone send a move down the inside? It went nearly 3 wide at the back. It hopefully gives me a better camera angle side by side. I think we've got Alpine and Ego and Aussie. Ego, remember, was in the walk-ons in the first safety car. We'll go back further up because Mercy was trying to look for a move down the inside. And Medi as we go side by side with Marty and Aussie. So Marty on those medium tyres, looking strong. Needs to close back up through the field. Meanwhile, at the front, looked like Toddy was nearly going to have a go at his team. Have a go through on his teammate, but holds back Mercy. Hopefully that maybe the Red Bulls try and switch, being Toddy's on the fresher medium tyres compared to hards. But we're single file through here at the moment with the restart. Tetris up into P12, so we've got a little bit of issue. Granny's got to try and hold it down the inside at 11, but can't. Oh, as you can see, Brosa really hounding Aussie. Hasn't really got the start that he wanted. The Red Bulls do switch, so Toddy takes P4. Can he close in on the top boys? Mercy, does he make a move? You thought about it at turn 1. He decides better of it. Remember, he's on the medium tyres. And I think we just saw before the safety car came out that about 10 laps in, the mediums were starting to struggle a little bit. So Yusuf holds the way a little bit. We've got Ego and Wayne. Wayne's dropped a spot. Ego up into P7. Good recovery drive from him, and we're only about half race distance as well. So if he's got a bit more speed, he can try and close back up. Quiet Cake. A commendable race at the moment for him up in P6. Battlecat, he's already dropped a second, so Battlecat just doesn't have the outright pace. And again, he's sort of in a battle with Quiet Cake. So definitely going to watch these two. Toddy, as you can see, he's right on the back now. He's closed that gap. He's just got to be careful to show a little bit of patience. As I said, we've still got 19 laps left to go. As we're on board, he's using a lot of battery. Oh, and that got close between Mercy and Medi. Mercy's got the inside line, but does Yusuf defend? It's getting close. I want to stay on board because Toddy's got the best shot. So DRS now active. Toddy actually got a greater exit than what Mercy did. He was sort of stuck on the inside. Both drivers have got DRS, so can Medi hold the outside line? As we come into turn number 4, Mercy stands it down the inside. Can Medi hold it around the outside? And Mercy has a big moment. Thankfully, he doesn't find himself in the wall. That would have been costly if Marty can move up a few more positions. And I think Mercy, half thought about it, about backing out. He obviously just had a bit of a moment, but thankfully saved it. He'll be able to close back up to Toddy and Medi. And all that fighting allows Yusuf to gain the 1 second gap that he needs to break DRS. Does Medi have anything in these last couple of corners to try and close back in? Otherwise, he's going to be a bit of a sitting duck with Toddy right behind him. Exit out of turn 12, all important. And that was a great exit from Toddy. He's going to have the overrun. He's going to have DRS when we get to it. There's the activation point now. DRS. Toddy goes around the outside. He wants the racing line into turn 1. Medi just has to concede the position, but it will try and look to fight back through turn number 3 and try and get him at turn 4. Bit of a moment there. Ego's got past Battlecat further down. So Battlecat really struggling. You can see a little bit of the fight in the background. As you can have a look, Toddy closes the door. And Ego gets past Quiet Cake. Ego really on a charge up into the top 5. The hard runners just falling back. Quiet Cake and Battlecat. Marty's up into P7 as well. Battlecat has to hold off Wayne Morris on the mediums as well. So the hard's just not giving the grip at the moment. With a few of these guys, Medi and Yusuf are doing a good job. Yusuf sort of in clean air. That's why he's gapping. Marty, we thought his chances were raw, and he has a little bit of a touch on the acid in front. As in, he needs patience, because if he DNFs, and we've lost Toddy. So Toddy's had a bit of a spin. It's a bit of a weird exit that he's done. So he'll be able to rejoin safely. So sort of a little bit earlier in the corner. So I'm just wondering if there was contact. But this has really helped Mercy and Ego. As we've got Toddy just trying to recover still. So Mercy takes P2, Medi P3, Ego P4. So have a quick look. It's not saying wing damage, but Medi's not sharing his data, but he's got to stick it down the inside on those hard tyres. He forces Mercy wide. No, he doesn't. Gave him just enough room. And now Mercy coming up the hill. He's got to watch Ego behind. They stay in the position, so Medi gets it back, and all this is done. Yusuf's laughing now. Gap's 3.5 seconds. And you can see the big train behind. Well, a bit of a gap between Ego and Quiet, but you got Marty, you got Battlecat, you got Aussie, you got Wayne, you got Broseph, Tetris, all in this second little pack. We come through turn 12 again. We've got 16 laps left to go. Once Yusuf hits the line, you can see him there. So starting lap 21, 3.5 second gap. Now this little battle between Medi, Mercy and Ego. Ego's been the one on the charge. Oh, he went a late dive bomb. Mercy gives him enough room. How do we go through turn number 2? Mercy's going to be on the narrow line, so this is going to be his second chance. He runs over the curb just to try and get the inside. He's got it. Both have got DRS. He's got the inside line. Mercy's got to try and hang it around the outside, but Ego gets it. He finds himself on the podium as we've lost Quiet Cake. He's had a spin at turn 4. I don't know. I don't think he's hit the wall. He hasn't, but he's just had a spin. Greeny's picked up a 3-second time penalty for track limits as we go Buster and A-Dog going side by side further down. So going up through turn 8, Buster's car's going to fight. Mercy gets back past Ego. Ego must have had a little bit of a snap. So Mercy getting that job back past. So the gap's sort of bared out a little bit. Mercy will get DRS. Ego will get DRS. Marty B is up into P5 and on 3 laps younger medium tyres. So he's going to be the one with the better grip at the end. Can he close in? Remember, Marty needs to outscore Mercy by 5 points to keep this championship hopes alive. We've lost A-Dog, unfortunately. Had to spin at turn 12. Maybe a little bit of contact with Buster. Again, not sure if that's Buster's AI car or not. Back to the battle for P3. Mercy. And Ego. Ego's had a little bit of a moment. He's dropped outside of DRS and you can see Marty right there. But it's now Mercy and Medi really closing in. So Mercy's got some speed. A-Dog unfortunately retires from the session in the pit lane. So really unlucky. Obviously that last little spin there sort of wrapped up his night unfortunately. So 15 drivers left, all 15 scoring points. It's whichever position these points are going to be scored in, and it's got to be all important, especially with Mercy and Marty B, and then also in the constructors, McLaren and Red Bull. So coming up the hill once again, Yusuf 3.3, gaps closing down a little bit. That's because of how hot these guys are running. Marty gets into P4. We've lost Gretty at turn 12, had a spin. That move all important for Marty. He's only 1 spot behind Mercy now. He needs to get past Mercy and then probably get Medi in, at least Medi, and then maybe Mercy to drop back a little bit. But there's not a lot of points gap between P3 and 4. Not enough anyway that he needs. His Ego picks up a 3-second time penalty. That will hurt him at the end of the race, unfortunately. But Marty really close, trying to hustle the gap. 1.1. Mercy hounding. Oh, I think we've lost Wayne. He's had a spin at turn 8. And we've lost Toddy. He's hit the car as well. We've got a safety car. 13 laps to go. So very interesting to see what happened here at turn 8. But we have a safety car. What do these guys do? Do you risk track position? Do you come in for new tyres? I feel like everyone will be. Marty might, but I don't think those mediums are going to be strong enough. Medi comes in, Mercy comes in, Marty has to come in, but he's made up all that ground again. We've got all the boys coming in. You cannot afford to speed in pit lane. Everyone does manage to slow it down. Wayne's in next. Can he slow it down? Yes, he can. So who gets held? So Eustace still comes out. Medi, Mercy, Marty. So same order. Tetris up in P5. Ego in P6. I think Battle Cat was the one that was held. No, Tetris hadn't boxed yet, being the Williams further down. So I believe Quiet Cake, because he just boxed, he'll jump a couple of positions. Probably the 3 ceiling pit lane. So he'll jump Buster into P12. So probably a decent safety car. And look at the tyres everybody's on. Yusuf and Marty have gone the mediums. Medi and Mercy have gone the soft tyres. So we'll have about 10 laps running left in this race. I feel softs will get to the end. Is there going to be enough of a drop off from those soft tyres for the mediums to sort of be able to come back? Obviously less fuel on board at the end of the race, so tyre wear should be a little bit better. So on board, this is going to be a fascinating final 10 laps. Not that it was probably going to be between Marty and Mercy and Medi. That scrap was going to look be interesting anyway. So Toddy, he's at the rear of the field. He's been caught up in 2 separate incidents. He's at the back. Problem is that hurts Red Bull currently in P6, P15. McLaren in P3, P8. So McLaren will win the Constructors' title if this stays at the moment. Mercy is currently ahead of Marty B. Mercy will claim the Tier 2 Drivers' Championship if things finish as they are. But again, you've got about 10 laps. We might actually see the safety car come in this lap. Quiet Kate comes in probably for a set of soft tyres, and that's probably not a bad call from the back. He does go soft tyres. So he's going to catch the rest of the field. This might extend the safety car one more lap. Now, does Yusuf have the grip on the medium tyres compared to the soft runners of Medi? Can he keep this lead? He got the gap last time due to the hard runners. He got the moves when he needed to. Sorry, apologies. That was the first safety car. Second safety car, he led away, and I think the battle between Medi, Mercy, and Toddy broke that 1 second gap, and then he was able to extend. But he's going to have Medi and Mercy right behind him on a softer compound. Quiet Cake does catch the rest of the field. So penalties on screen. A 3 second for Ego, a 3 second for Granny. Everyone's made 2 stops. Quiet Cake's made 3. Position changes as we do see the safety car. Aussie, Broken Reptile are your big winners. Toddy is your biggest loser along with Quiet Cake. As we will have 11 lap sprint that could determine the championship for both drivers and constructors. Yusuf will lead us away for the second time. Does he go as late as he did last time? He's now gone. Does this hold up? Medi again. He's a little bit costly. Does Mercy now try and have a lunge? Marty B thought about it. They won't go for it. Oh, and that's now for Romeo wide. That's Broken Reptile. So he's probably gotten onto the grass, unfortunately. So he's dropped all the way back down to the bottom of the field. As we look at Marty B. He seriously thought about it. He can't afford to send a lazy lunge, because that ruins his chances. If Marty and Mercy both DNF, Mercy wins it. So Marty cannot afford to crash. As we get a nice aerial shot, we've lost Quiet Cake. He's sitting in the middle of the track at turn 6. Thankfully, he was at the back, so everyone avoided him. As he's just recorrecting himself. Broken Reptile's recovered. So, medium tyres. They're not too bad. He's set the fastest middle sector. So, this is won't quite be fastest lap because of how late he went. But he's liking these medium tyres. Did he actually set fastest lap? He does, 10.4. So Medi on those soft tyres, hopefully you've got them warmed up now, because he's going to have to get a bit of a move on. So I feel like those soft tyres may die shortly. Mercy, I think he's now going to go onto the charge. Send the move down the inside. Not quite. Maybe Mercy just running a little bit more downforce. Doesn't quite seem to have that right top end speed. So he just hasn't been able to. But again, he cannot afford a clumsy lunge. As I said, he wins the championship if he finishes here. He just needs to finish ahead of Marty. That's his goal. If he finishes on the podium, that'll just be a bonus. But Marty B, he's going to go a little bit long, remember, on the medium tyres. Ego and the Battle Cat, they sort of wouldn't mind a little bit of play up front, because they could possibly see a podium. But Yusuf hasn't been able to gap Medi 4 tenths now. So very interesting as Medi goes down the inside. So change of lead, but again, he's probably got a little bit deep. Yusuf will probably have a little bit of a better run. He'll have DRS. He does go straight to the inside. You can see the Aston Martin flashing, and Yusuf gets the job done before turn 4. He was a little bit compromised on entry, but should be right coming up the hill. So Yusuf retakes the lead. As I said, you can get the move done at turn 1, but if your exit's not clean or you're a little bit compromised, you can easily get taken back at turn 4 with how the detection point is at turn 2. So this is going to be an almighty scrap. Battle Cat just a little bit off. Battle Cat has really had pace all race long. Sorry to keep pointing it out. But yeah, he's just off the tail end again, and he's got Tetris and Aussie. Toddy's back up into P10. And he's right behind Broseph, so we'll see what he can do on the soft tyres. He's probably going to have a better exit. I just want to catch these leaders at the moment. Marty B's actually really close, about 2/10. He can't really do anything. Just cheekily pointing the nose down the inside. Medi got a little bit compromised. So Mercy, is this his chance to potentially get a move? All these guys have got hardly any battery left. You can see pretty much all of them flashing. We go side by side. Ego's gotten past Marty B. That's the last thing that he would have wanted. But Ego's got the 3-second pen. Maybe Ego can try and compromise Mercy a little bit. Maybe try and get past Mercy, and that might open the door for Marty to follow through as well. But Ego, that 3 seconds really got to hurt him. He's one place out of a podium. Battle Cat and Aussie are getting really close, and he's in a Red Bull sandwich as Toddy got back past Marty and Ego fighting. Marty's got to be a little bit careful that he doesn't lose DRS to the top 3, because that would really ruin his race and his chance to try and get points on Mercy. Coming up out of turn 12 now. Again, Yusuf has that 6/10 gap, which is enough, and those soft tyres will start to feel it. A quick look. I think the soft tyres will be right for another 1 or 2 laps before they hit the first cliff. Yusuf was not too bad out of there. Aussies gets past the Battle Cat. Oh, but I think Yusuf had a poor turn 3, and Medi sends the move down the inside. Can he hold it? Does Yusuf try and fight him? No, he doesn't. Yusuf tries to do the up and under. Not quite. Mercy tried to take advantage of it, but again, not quite there. Yusuf in P2. Medi takes the lead with 7 laps left to go. As we got a yellow flag, that's Broseph around and just gets out of the way of, I think that was Wayne. So he's had a bit of a spin. So you can see how close Mercy and Marty are. 3/10 covering the 2 championship contenders. We have 6 laps left to go. At this stage, Mercy will be crowned your Tier 2 champion. But we've got a long way to go. Marty, again, he's a 10th behind. He's got DRS, but he's got no battery to use. But back up front. Oh, that got close between Mercy. You thought he was going to hit the back of the Alfa Romeo. He does manage to avoid it, but Yusuf, he's got to have the better grip through turn 3. He'll get DRS in the slipstream. As we go side by side and gets it done. What about Ego? He gets the move on Marty, couldn't quite get it on Mercy. So position changing all of the time. Ego sets the quickest first sector with the double dosing of DRS. And Marty needs to close back, get back past the Alpine. He needs to get past the McLaren. Aussie, he's doing really well in P6, and he's pretty much back on this pack now. He'll get DRS. So Aussie from the back of the field, on soft tyres, if anything happens in front of him, he could find himself on the podium. So it'd be not quite a last to first, but if he can get on the podium, that's a fantastic result from Aussie. As we do have 5 laps running, lap 32. Medi still stuck in between. Yusuf holds the lead at the moment. But again, we've seen overtakes through turn 4. That's been everybody's favourite at the moment. Medi, not as close enough. So does he have, or is he able to make the move? No, he's too far back. So won't be doing anything. Broseph and Quiet Cake fighting. Broseph moves up to P12 after his spin in the middle sector. Toddy picks up a 3-second time penalty. That will hurt, as we've got side by side between Granny and Wayne. Wayne holds. Oh, does he stick a nose up the inside? You don't really want to do it at turn 6. But they still hold. Gap half a second out in front. Ego still within DRS. But Marty, I think he's just feeling those softs a little bit. Marty needs to get this move back past. He's just outside, just inside DRS range. Are these two to the top 3? Medi 7/10 won't be close enough. Mercy half a second won't be close enough. And just remember, Aussie can really help Mercy here, hold him back a little bit more. As you got the Red Bulls at the back of the train, we've got our top 9 within DRS of each other. He's very close. Mercy, he had a bit of a look, same as Marty on Ego. So it'll be interesting to see how those softs and the mediums are comparing. As Marty's really pushing Ego towards out of turn 5. And he's going to have a little bit more grip. Yeah, mediums are just feeling a little bit better than the softs. There's about a 6-7% percentage gap between them at the moment. But both are just about to start hitting that first cliff. A bit of an up and under. Marty sends a move down the inside. Cannot afford contact. We're going to go side by side through turn 11. Marty and Ego still there. That looked very close. He gets the move done. Ego sends the move down the inside again, side by side. Marty, I don't think we'll get DRS though. That side-by-side action really hurt them, so Ego should easily breeze back past, and watch for PRL Aussie as well. Side-by-side, you can see the DRS wing is not open. Aussie has a little bit of a moment. Hits Marty. They managed to sort themselves out. And Toddy's lost it. He's been it out of turn 2, but we will not see the safety car. Out of turn 1, you can see his car there. Just wondering if there was contact. We'll have to find out after the race. Because again, top 3, they've now split. The last thing Marty wanted, he tried to get the move done, but I think overall that's really cost him. Just in terms of DRS. And Aussie up in a P6. Battle Cat picks up a 3-second time penalty. So at the moment, Mercy 3, Marty will be 4th. Yellow flag, we have Granny. He's had a moment at turn 6, and watch the rejoin. That's a bit naughty from the Mercedes. Quite dodgy, actually. As Granny picks up another 3-second penalty after he's might be picking up another 5-second with his unsafe rejoin. As we come to start our second last lap of this race, Marty and Ego fighting once again. Marty will get the move done, but Ego will have the DRS out of turn 3, and you can see he's only about 2.5 tenths. He'll get DRS. He's got the better straight line speed. Takes the inside line as Yusuf sends a lunge down the inside. Yusuf's got to try and go back at him. They can't afford contact. Medi has to duck back in. Couldn't quite. It seemed like a late lunge. But again, just a little bit. And there's contact, and Medi spins Yusuf. That's really unlucky from Yusuf, and he's not going to finish on the podium at all, but I think Medi will cop a penalty for that. So this has opened the door for the McLaren of Mercy, and Ego and Marty B in P3, P4. Marty might finish on the podium, but I have a feeling with just over a lap to go, his season might be done. As we start our final lap, about to start our final lap. Medi crosses the line now. Mercy, he'll take the lead coming onto the final lap, lap 36, but he lets go of it. He wants the exit out of turn 4. Does he have the grip through 1 and 2? He does. Battle for P3 is on. Marty and Aussie are really close together, but I'm going to stick on board. Following the top 2 coming through turn 4, Medi holds. Then Mercy, Marty. It's very, very close now. Half a lap left to go. Medi has a 3/10 lead over Mercy. It's got to be the drive down out of turn 12. Ego currently in P3, but the penalties really hurt him. Marty in P4. He's not ahead of Mercy. He's only got 4 corners, or 5 corners left to go, unfortunately. And it's not going to be enough. As we come through turn number 12, it's going to be a race to the line. But a fantastic season. We've got 1 race left to go. Medi, I think he'll just have enough. We'll get the helicopter shot. Medi, no, Mercy will do it. Mercy will cross the line in style, and he is your Tier 2 Drivers' Champion. Great drive for Mercy. He picks up the win. I think Medi might have been in a little bit of trouble from the use of contact. But Mercy, great drive all season long. He is your Tier 2 Drivers' Champion, and with Aussie, great recovery drive from starting in P16. He finishes in P4, and McLaren are your Tier 2 Constructors' Champions as well. So Mercy rounds out with 1 race left to go. He will round out as a Tier 2 double champion. Medi, great race anyway. It might be a steward's inquiry with that little contact. But Medi, great drive from him. And then Marty, he'll be a little bit disappointed that his championship couldn't go to the final round. But he finds himself on the podium yet again. Another P3. Ego, very unlucky getting that penalty early on. But Aussie, great drive. P4. I'd imagine that's probably my drive of the day. But it's both McLarens that will be celebrating tonight. Mercy, he claims the top step at Brazil. And he'll claim the Drivers' Championship as well. And with Abu Dhabi coming up, it's pretty much just going to be a luxury drive for him. But 3 different constructors on the podium. Marty, great effort to see him back up there. I think it's been a little bit since we've seen him on the podium, but he picks up podium number 5. But your results on screen for round 19 at Brazil. Mercy, he wins the race. He wins the Drivers' Championship, and he wins the Constructors' Championship with McLaren for Tier 2. Medi, great effort for P2. Obviously, that incident towards the end will be looked at, but great effort from him. Marty B, as I said, a great drive from him. That little bit of racing, it was good racing between him and Ego, but that sort of cost him any chance to get past Mercy. Aussie, great effort from the back of the field in P4. Yusuf, he'd be really unlucky. He was looking on for at least a podium, but he finishes in P5. Tetris in P6. Massive Ego in P7, Battle Cat in P8, Wayne in P9, Broseph rounds out the 10. Quiet Cake, Buster, unfortunately I think was still AI. Broken Reptile, Granny had their issues. And now DNF's Toddy, A-Dog, and then obviously we lost him early. Really unfortunate for him. He looked like he had really good pace. So as we catch our breaths a little bit, we'll have a bit of a chat with a few of these boys. Who we got in here? We've got our podium at the moment, but I do want to get in Aussie as well. Driver of the day, and also our Constructors' Champion as well, alongside Mercy. So as I try and get to the showroom, we'll have a bit of a chat. Marty's in here. Marty, great drive from you. Another podium, 5th of the season, but unfortunately couldn't quite get past Mercy at the end, and unfortunately you fall short, but it's been an ultra consistent season for you, and with 1 round left to go. Hopefully we can see a W next to your name, but again, great effort from you tonight.
Thanks, man. It's so good. That is exactly what I needed coming into this race. I knew the car felt good. We dialed our setup in during the week, and it was just ace. It just felt so nice to drive. It was beautiful. And, unfortunately, I couldn't get close to Mercy. I'm not sure if that gives him the chip now. I haven't done the maths, but
unfortunately it does.
That's okay. I can live with that. Mercy's very fast. He can enjoy Tier 1 next season, I think.
Yep.
No, I'm happy to come second best to a driver like that. Fantastic bloke on and off the track. Just a beautiful drive, beautiful car. Unfortunate for my teammate, had a bit of a moment there on one of the curbs, but still top 10 for Ferrari. Shout out to the boys in the podium. Great race. And Aussie, I don't know if Aussie's in here or not, but man, you nearly got me, G. He is in here.
Hey, mate.
Hey, bro. Oh, man, I was sweating at the end there, dude. Well done, mate. Well done.
Yeah, cheers, bro.
Cheers, boys.
Yeah, but Marty, quick chat to you about your strategy. Obviously, You decided to stay under that first safety car, but then we had the second safety car straight away. I'm assuming that's exactly the opposite of what you wanted?
100% did not want that at all. Stayed out on the hards, obviously for track position, which obviously worked out well, staying in the lead. And then I thought, oh well, this is going to be great. I'll box about lap 20, mid to early 20s onto the mids and have nice fresh tyres. But then of course the second safety car just buggered that strategy a wee bit. I'm not sure what Mercy's strategy was, but I think he boxed at the same time as me. I'm not sure. Yeah, I did do some racing earlier in the week, and I did do the hard to mid strategy, and it was just lovely. The hards were wonderful for about 20, 21, 22 laps, and then of course the mids with the lighter car with the low fuel load, they were amazing. So yep, it is what it is, man. But I'm so happy to be P3. So happy.
No, it's great to see you back up here, possibly P2, but we'll wait for a little bit later for that. But Abu Dhabi next week, obviously final round. Long 2020 race season. How you feeling for our final race next week?
Oh, I'm just going to put in the hard yards, man, during the week. Put in the yards, do the race, and it's going to be nice to have a break over Christmas and go away and look forward to next season, which is going to be a banger. Season 6 it enters. I can't wait to see what's going to happen, obviously with the new owner and stuff moving in, and I will be the head steward, so I can't wait, mate. It's sunshine on the coast.
Yeah, fun times here at Inters, and yeah, what a race to have on a Saturday afternoon. I'm looking forward to a lot more of them next season. But Marty, pleasure as always having you in here. Obviously, great race from you, and yeah, hopefully we can see you up here next week, final round at Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, bro. Thanks. Peace.
All right, P2, Medi. Great pace from you all race long. Really fighting Yusuf and Mercy there. Obviously, the first thing I'm going to mention is a little bit of the collision at turn number 8.
I can't remember which. Yeah, sorry. When I clipped yeah. No, I'm only kidding. That's it was a bit of a shame to end like that. To be honest, I messaged Yusuf already, and I'm very apologetic. That's a shit way to ruin someone's race, and it was a shame because we battled really well for the first half of it and pretty much all the way through. So.
Yeah,
it's just poor driving.
Yeah, it's really unlucky because I think I had an aerial shot, but it actually didn't click until Yusuf was on the grass. So you thought it was just single file, but yeah, obviously just felt like you had a little bit more grip, and then or just that little bit of a touch. It looked very minor, and unfortunately just spun Yusuf around. But as I said, the battles you guys had, especially through turns 4 and obviously battling through turn 1, how was that as an actual race? Because you both just gave each other enough room, and yeah, it was fun to watch.
No, it was good. It was good fun battling with him. I think it was clean, which was nice as well. And Mercy had the front row seats behind us, but particularly at the end when I think I got him on the DRS straight, and then he had a switchback on me, which was a switchback of dreams. He was it's just I just feel so bad. I think we both Mercy and I thought that he was going to it almost looked like he was going to recorrect himself and was going to try and slow down and let him go, and then I realised he was just gone. It was just it was just a real shame.
Yeah, it was probably a little bit hard too, especially because that train was also so close, that second group from P4 down, that if you had done that, you may have actually caused bigger incidents. So I think you were sort of in a hard place anyway. But
yeah.
Nevertheless, as I said, P2 on track at the moment. You just got beaten to the line, but yeah, you must be very happy about your pace today, and obviously Abu Dhabi next week if you can race. How are you feeling for our final race of the season?
Yeah, look, I'll be there. I've really sort of picked it up in the second half of the season, I think, in terms of results and pace. So hopefully my draft stock doesn't get hindered for next year. But no, I think I should be good. I should be still pretty quick around Abu Dhabi and hopefully finish with another podium. Depending how poorly Mercy races, if I get a win.
Yeah, and that's going to be interesting. There's going to be a lot of top guys trying to fight for that final win of the season. But Betty, great drive from you, and we'll see you next week.
Too easy. Cheers.
All right, and our P1. As I forgot to change the car, but Betty was in the Aston, obviously. But Mercy. That's the P1 on the line. That's the Drivers' Championship, and that's the Constructors' Championship. Well done for the season.
Oh, what a way to seal it. Oh, it was tough there, but a couple of incidents and spins and safety cars helped there, so yeah, I'm happy to pick up the championship, Constructors as well. I didn't know we got that, but thanks to Ozzy, he's been a great teammate, always there. Mega drive today, I think from the back he'll probably get a P3, but yeah, and obviously the focus now goes on to the overalls, which we gained a fair bit on Williams.
Yeah, I think Buster will be non-classified, unfortunately, with his blackout, unfortunately, at the worst possible time. But yeah, talk us through that race, because it seemed like you were always sort of that third car in line that you attempted a few moves on Medi and I think got them, but you just couldn't quite get to the front of that pack. Were you sort of just saving and possibly the last couple of laps trying to get through, or sort of what was your plan throughout that race?
The plan was hard soft, which I know works. So obviously the guys that started meds, which was Medi and Yusuf, got the jump on me, so I just kind of tucked in behind and waited for the changeover to happen with the tyres, which it did. And then obviously the safety car came out, so that changed it. And I thought I'd better just come in and change it to med soft, or try and make the meds last the whole way. And obviously Marty, Tetris, and I think Broseph stayed out, so it would have put me on the same strategy as them if I had to stop again, but on better tyres. So yeah, and then the other safety car came out, and that just brought everyone back into it. So yeah, I was just sitting behind trying to make a couple moves on Medi and couldn't pull them off. But that last safety car definitely helped, where we jumped on the softs, and yeah,
Absolute
unfortunately, Medi re-entered Yusuf. But yeah, I was saving the battery of the whole last stint, so I was hoping I could get there. But yeah.
But yeah, as I said, obviously it was a great battle to watch. Obviously, all race long, and obviously I know Marty was right there trying to get past, and Ego was in there at some point. But looking overall at your season, 4 wins, 4 seconds, so you picked up 10 podiums at the moment with from 15 races that you've done. You've had a pretty bloody great season, and obviously Tier 1, you'll be moving up. How are you sort of feeling racing those big boys? You've had a couple of good results in Tier 1, I believe, so are you looking forward to the challenge?
Yeah, it'll be good. Obviously, I've done a couple of races there. I think I'll be jumping up again tomorrow, but yeah, I think it'll be a bit of a different grid next year, a couple moving up, and I think this year, I know that Gordo's missed a few, Natobian dropped out, Yusuf's come in, but we've all had great battles, and they've all been up there every race. I think the first half of the season, I was battling Gordo every race, and then NATO jumped in. So, and then Marty's always there, Mr. Consistent. But and I don't know if you picked up, I was actually towing Damo along a bit when he was trying to pass Marty to help me. But
yeah, we sort of caught that. But finally, you and Aussie constructors championship. We'll get to Aussie in a minute, but your pairing, obviously, you win in the drivers as well, but you need a teammate to get the constructors, and yeah, you two have worked really well together, especially in the second half of the season.
Yeah, we've worked quite well together. I know Baku, the whole race were working together, and that really helped us. I think we got like a P3, P4, so just shows that you use your teammate, do some quality tows and work together in the races, you can get the results. And yeah, I think more people should try and do that. I don't know how many do, but we're always in the party together, talking and communicating. So yeah, just congrats and thanks to Aussie for always being there.
No worries, mate. Thanks for drafting us. This was a dream scenario for me getting the McLaren drive. So worked out perfectly for me.
But yeah, big congratulations. Obviously, Mercy, your main target is to try and get the overall. But regarding tonight, big congratulations on the win, on the Drivers' Championship, and on the Constructors' Championship.
Cheers, Scotty, and congrats to Marty B. He's pushing me right to the edge, and had to get it done today because I think I'm away next week. So luckily, I just got there. So
yeah,
thanks,
so got the job done. Big congratulations. Aussie, great job from you. It may possibly be a podium, but P4 from the back of the field. Great race from you. Was it sort of just the rain that caught you out and you mucked up your first lap, or sort of?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. The first run, had a snap in the midfield in the fast right-hander and just went off track and invalidated. So didn't have the time to get another run in before it started raining, and then as soon as it started raining, I lost 2 seconds off the bat. So started 16th, but was able to recover it, which was nice. It was a good fun race, probably the best race of the season, I reckon, so far.
Yeah, you look like you had a lot. Yeah, you had a lot of paces as we sort of swapped to you here and there, and yeah, so a couple of nice battles that you had, and then obviously with sort of a bit of the incidents up front, did you think the podium was going to be on about halfway through that race?
Not till like the last lap, and I was like, oh, I'm fifth, and one of the guys has a penalty, and I have more battery than them. They're both blinking, but then I just didn't have I wasn't quite close enough to Marty onto the final lap because I made a mistake with a couple of corners to go. But I'll take a P4 for now, and hopefully a P3 later on after the shooting. But we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, well, speaking of you, obviously a few races ago, obviously your second half of the season been really great. 2 podiums, maybe 3, depending if there's any stewards inquiries. Obviously, in helping Mercy, obviously working as teammates, same question I guess to you. Obviously, Constructors Champion, you've put a lot of work into that, and your second half season's been brilliant. So how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I'm stoked that we've managed to wrap it up with a race to go. So no stress, just go out and have fun for the last race. And see how it shakes out for the last race. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, and I reckon it's going to be a great race to watch. As we know, Abu Dhabi on the game can provide some exciting racing. But Aussie, great drive from you. Pretty much drive of the day. I feel like from the back, possibly P3, but definitely P4 at least.
Those safety cars helped big time because I was so far off the back of the field with stuck behind Buster's AI, and the first 2 laps was a bit chaotic, but lost like 10 seconds to the rest of the field there. But the safety cars drag us back into it, so I was fortunate for that side. But yeah, good race. And thanks, boys, for the commentary. Awesome job.
Oh, cheers. Great race. And yeah, we'll see you next week at Abu Dhabi. And that will wrap us up for Tier 2. It was a fantastic race, battling all throughout. Safety cars spice things up a little bit. And yeah, we've crowned both our champions for Tier 2. So the lookout for next week's Saturday afternoon, it's going to be your finale at Abu Dhabi, and I feel like a lot of guys are just going to let loose, try and get that final win, final podium, and it'll be fascinating to watch. But we've still got one tier left to go, and that is tomorrow night at 5 p.m. And it's your quick boys, it's your Tier 1 guys. And a little note for that, I feel like it's going to be absolutely pissing down, so I feel like that's going to be one race to watch. So myself will be in it. Yeah, got to be definitely an interesting race. Looking at the forecast, possibly inters, possibly full wet. We'll have to see till we get closer. But thank you very much for joining. It's been a fantastic afternoon of racing, and we will catch you tomorrow night in Brazil for our second last race at Tier 1. So big thank yous, and we'll catch you tomorrow afternoon.